chugging right along, Project Fam. I have another video, and what we're going to do today is continue with the front end of this Porsche 911 C4S and put on the front bumper. So it looks like I have to tie in the fenders again, put the front bumper on, make sure the headlights can be installed properly, and that's the focus. But you know what? I really haven't talked about the elephant in the room and the fact that I've been gone for 2 months. Just a lot has been going on. My daily 9 to 5 has been very demanding. A lot of travel, business related travel. Took a vacation. Just a lot has been going on. So I'm happy to be working on this project again. And with any luck, I'll be able to get this summertime convertible on the road by winter. So I'm waiting for the headlights, and now that I've run the lines for the headlight washers, not windshield washer, headlight washer, I have to be really careful if I buy an aftermarket headlight, because if it doesn't have a headlight washer, then that's going to be a waste. Really going to be a waste. So I want to make sure that whatever I get has to have a headlight washer. Otherwise, I'm just going to place the order for the regular OEM, because if we look on here, this one. So this is the headlight washer. This actually pops up. Can I get it to pop up? No. But this pops up. Spray, 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 spray. So this pops up, gives it a good spray, 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 pops back down. So whatever I get, I want to make sure. All right, don't scratch anything. Come on now. I want to make sure that it looks really nice. And now that I'm looking at the OEM, like, that looks really sweet. So we might be rolling with the OEM, and it's cheaper. So I get to retain my headlight washer, and it's cheaper. You know, it's amazing. I've been back and forth about what I was going to do with these headlights. And just like that, I made a decision. I'm going to keep the original headlights, or at least the original style headlights, but I do have to get new headlights. Plastic shields underneath the wheel well. And so to get the wheel well all done, I know I'll have to take it apart when the headlight comes anyway, just so I could see what fasteners, nuts, and bolts I need to finish the car. Because as it, look at that. It's not even, look at that. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's not going to close perfectly because these are in the way, but other than being many different colors, it is not looking too bad. Almost. I love the fact that my fenders are, well, it's almost rigid. I got a couple of bolts on that side to do, but I'll say the biggest thing that I learned is it doesn't matter how many times, you know, they always say, you know, measure twice, cut once. It doesn't matter how many times you figure this stuff out, you're gonna have to take it apart and do it all over again. Both sides, I had to take apart and do it at least twice. This side and on this side. But at the end of the day, I mean, I really can't complain with the outcome. Yeah, I did really try and polish. I'm gonna play with this and see if I can get it really shiny. This will be my little test area. But it looks good. So there we go, almost. My goal is to fit the bumper on next. Then after the bumper, put all the plastic shields on, put the wheels on, drop it down. And I can't go anywhere because it's not registered, but just kind of drop it down, maybe move it out the garage, clean up the garage again, and bring it back in. I might even back it in, I'm not really sure, but it might be time for me to really figure out what I'm going to do about the headlights. So that's probably the next step. Let's go look at the interior. I've had the battery connected now. That looks horrid. That one looks really good. This one, not so much. So I am going to return it and get the right one. So I have my mirrors on. I'm gonna keep that black. That one is working, it's also black. That looks good. This is almost coming together. And again, we're not rushing it. We are not rushing it. So there I put the new bumper on, just kind of put it in place, but it's not fitting the fender the right way. On both sides, it's kind of sticking out, and I can't figure out why it's sticking out on both sides. So I'll put some fasteners in just to kind of hold it in place, and just trying to figure out why it's sticking out on both sides. I almost wonder, like, do I talk to myself on purpose, or was I just talking because I knew the camera was hot? Like, I don't know. Maybe I do talk to myself when I work. I don't know. And I'm taking you guys through most of kind of what I do when I'm working on the car. somewhat fast forwarding through. Oh, the old bumper. I wonder if the old bumper lines up. Now it's making me wonder. So I think I need to put the old bumper on to see how that lines up. Yep. So I'm going to take off this new pretty bumper. And obviously I'm talking from the future. So there are more problems with that new pretty bumper than I care to disclose right now. But that's my old bumper. Check it out. Doesn't look too badly. I don't know. These parts were not affordable. They weren't cheap. So kind of in the back of my mind, I am figuring out maybe I keep the old bumper. Facts. I kid you not. But let me put the old bumper on and see if it fits. Because if this old bumper fits nicely, and then I can kind of figure out what's wrong with the new bumper and why the new bumper is not fitting. See, this is my problem. The old bumper and the new bumper, they do not fit on the sides. And I'm missing. That's right. Now I have to order a new part. It looks like an eyebrow for the headlight. I'm missing it. I have to order it. So now I'm just going to fasten the old bumper and make sure I have the correct fasteners too. So if I put that one in place, that should kind of hold the bumper together on that side. I think at this point I figured out why the old bumper, why the new bumper didn't fit. Had to do with the fasteners on both sides. So now I feel comfortable taking off the old bumper because I know what fastener is and how it goes on. Big sigh. And let me make sure I have the correct fastener to hold the bumper on. Right there. That was the reason. There it was. So after I put the new bumper on, the key fastener I was missing the first time I had the bumper on, I just figured it out. That's how this process works. It's kind of trial and error. Figured things out. Worst case scenario is kind of hit the internet and find a resource, an exploded diagram, and figure it out. But I was able to kind of do it on my own. It did take a little while, and I kid you not, that bumper looks really good. So I put this bumper on, and it's not staying in place. Like something's not right. Am I missing a clip? Something's missing. And I'm going to figure it out in 5 seconds. Bingo.
You know what?
The clip I was looking for was still stuck in the old fender.
It was in the
So,
old fender, right?
if I take it off the old fender, apply it to the new fender, then I'm able to put the front bumper cover on. Bingo. That's it. That's what I needed the whole time. So I know I kind of took you through a whole 5-minute exercise of me figuring things out, but that's what happens in the real world. Just kind of figure it out, put the puzzle together. And I've said this, I'm going to say it again. Working on these cars is like putting together a 1,000 piece puzzle. It can be done, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of time and definitely process of elimination, and we can get it done. So now I'm just going to kind of take the right parts off the fender, and I'm able to put the bumper on now.
That's broken.
So I took it off. That was the piece that I needed. That will hold the fender to the bumper cover. So perfect. Now I just have to figure out how it goes on and install it. Now that I kind of figured that out, let me wipe down as many of these pieces as possible. This looks like the air dam for the front condensers. Make sure that's clean. At some point, I'm going to install a mesh in there to keep the leaves and things from going in there, but just not yet. But here I am just kind of wiping things down before I put it back together. I'm not going to say it's a final assembly, but pretty close to it. Nice and shiny. It's not going to stay shiny, of course. And I probably just wiped it down with something I had in the garage. Yeah, I want to make sure that I get a some type of screen in there to keep the leaves from getting stuck to the front of that cooler. And do the same thing to the other. What am I using? It might be tire shine. I think it's tire shine. Don't quote me on it. But whatever it is, it's kind of moist. It's a little greasy. And I'm just wiping down this before I install it. Yeah, it is somewhat peaceful working in the garage sometimes. Just thinking to myself, hoping my glasses do not fall off my head. Now that I have those pieces on, I could actually just slide the bumper cover, not a bumper, a bumper cover. And that looks really sweet. Slide it on, attach a few fasteners, and that would be it, right? So no longer a mystery. I'm not going to bore you with all the details as far as putting in all the fasteners, but that's it. It's a wrap. Next thing I have is getting the actual headlights that we're going to use for the build. Grills are already in, and that's about it. All right, now I guess I can talk to you a little bit about my problem. That bumper you see, I cannot use it, and I'll tell you why probably in the next segment.